Hello Culers, it's Pablo here and welcome back to Barca Universal and welcome to El Clásico. Just a day before the match preview will be released for Sunday's game, I thought I'd release a tactical preview ahead of the biggest clash in European club football. It's Barcelona versus Real Madrid, it's Ronald Koeman versus Carlo Ancelotti, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at the in-depth side of El Clásico with the tactical side of things. So without any further ado guys, let's get started. Because certainly in these fixtures, I think who comes out on top tactically can be absolutely key. To be fair, El Clásico is the sort of game where that isn't always the case, as there are so many quality players on the pitch, and well, really, the game can change at any moment with, big players down each end. But certainly it does have a huge importance, and I think in today's video, guys, we're going to be discussing, how both sides could be lining up, who to look out for, what tactical battles to look out for, and I think it should be a really, really enjoyable and interesting video. So without any further ado, guys, let's begin. And let's start with ourselves here in Barcelona, and let's look at actually who's available to us for the Clásico, and let's take a look at some team news, because the latest news is that Jordi Alba is a big doubt for the Clásico, and that, guys, is big news, and that's bad news for us too, I think. I think Jordi Alba really is one of our biggest sources of threat. He has been for about 4 to 5 years now, if we're being honest with ourselves. And I think especially now, he got the assist midweek against Dynamo Kiev. That's a big miss for Barcelona if he can't make it. He hasn't trained with the team today, so we've got to see maybe if he trains on Saturday, then he could be fit. But having Alba as a doubt, and if he's unavailable, that's a big miss. In defence, you've also got Araujo there who will not be playing. Eric Garcia, however, will be back. Of course, he was suspended against Dynamo, but he'll be completely ready for this game. And then also further forward, Pedri won't be available, Ousmane Dembele won't be available, and of course Martin Braithwaite will also be unavailable. So I think for Barcelona, to be fair, we actually are missing quite a lot of important players there. I've said it a few times, I think Alba is the big one. That is a big miss for Barcelona. But then also players like Araujo, Dembele, Pedri, Alba on top of those are 4 players who would all be starting this game and who are all imperative players for Barcelona. So not having them for the Clásico in this sort of game, that's huge. So how are we actually expecting Koeman to line up for this sort of game? I'm going to say it first off, I think Koeman is going to be going for a 4-3-3 in this game. He could mix things up with a 3-back, maybe even with a 4-4-2 for example, and add an extra midfielder in there if we don't have enough attacking options. But I think on paper, this is a sort of thing that Koeman would like to be lining up with. Now we'll discuss bit by bit who could be coming in and out. In goal, ter Stegen, of course, will start. At right back, I think it will be Mingueza. If it's not, it could be Sergi Roberto. In defence, you've got Piqué next to Eric Garcia. I think that will be the partnership. At left back, if Alba's fit, he'll start. If he's not fit, I think Dest will be brought back to left back. Either Mingueza or Roberto will be playing at right back. And then further up the pitch, where we see Serginho Dest in the right wing role now, someone else will be brought in there. Maybe Nico, maybe Coutinho. Maybe even Sergi Roberto will be playing up there, guys. So there are variants that Koeman can use. But I think if players are fit, certainly if Alba's fit, he'll want to go for something like this. You've, of course, got Memphis and Ansu in attack there too. I think Ansu will now start this game. And, of course, for Memphis, we need a big performance from him. That's for sure. And then in that midfield, I think it will be Busquets there at the heart of it. And De Jong next to Pablo, Gavi. I think both De Jong and Gavi, we need big games from them. And actually, from the whole midfield, I think against Real Madrid's midfield, Kroos, Casemiro, Modric, we've played against that for years now. But we've got to be good against it. You always have got to be good against it. And we've got to see a lot more, in my opinion, from our midfield players. As I said, Jordi Alba's absence and his potential absence, that does make this lineup that Koeman will go for more interesting in that regard. I think, what it showed is the sort of thing Koeman would like to go for, but like I said, he does have options. I think Roberto can be brought in. Even Balde could be brought in as a straight swap at left back. I definitely know I'd like to see that, but I just don't think Koeman will do it. Also, Nico's an extra body in midfield. You've got Luke de Jong even, who I think, we shouldn't be playing, but it is an option. And then certainly Coutinho there, I think, is also almost the most natural player to come in there to the attack. Regarding Real Madrid, to be fair to Real, they've actually had quite an injury-hit season. They've had quite a few players missing, but they actually come into this Clásico in really good shape. Not good timing for us at all. They've got essentially everyone back. Mendy is back at left back there, so he'll be starting this game. Kroos is back in midfield, so he'll be starting this game. And even the likes of Hazard and Carvajal, who seem to be always unavailable, are expected to be in the squad list, but I'm not expecting them to be starting. But they certainly could be coming off the bench, and especially Carvajal, maybe if Ancelotti thinks, hang on a minute, we just want to go full strength here, he may just be forced in. And I think when we take a look at Real Madrid's potential lineup, they actually look quite strong. I think this looks like quite a strong Real Madrid team to me. You've got Courtois in goal. You've got Nacho right back, who I think will be played there. Maybe Valverde will be used, but that's an option Ancelotti's got. I don't think he'll go for it. I think he'll go for the more solidified option in Nacho. Mendy will be there at left back, and then Alaba and Militao at centre back. Look, it's not star-studded, and to be fair, I think Barcelona, if we had real quality, we could actually really hurt them. So let's see what Ansu can conjure up and whatnot. But certainly I think the defence looks good, and what I would say is that it looks very, very quick as well. So we've got to be watchful for that. Then they've got in midfield, of course, Casemiro, Modric and Kroos. And then up front, I think they're going to go all out for us, because I think when teams play Barcelona, they recognise they've got weaknesses in defence. I think Ancelotti will be thinking the same sort of thing. So Vinicius on the left, Rodrigo on the right, and Benzema up front. That's really, really dangerous, guys. I think especially Vinicius, he's such a dangerous player. We know that, but this season he's really coming along. And Benzema really needs no introduction. He is an incredibly talented forward. He's got all sorts in his locker, so we've got to watch out for him. And I've also picked out a few pointers here in general in terms of what to look out for when you put the teams next to each other. I think for Barcelona, guys, when we enter these Clásicos, certainly in recent times, we always look to our left-hand side to say that's where we can hurt Real Madrid, and certainly to Jordi Alba. And that the fact that Alba is missing, or is potentially missing, is such a massive blow for Barcelona, because I think if he isn't, him and Ansu Fati down the left-hand side, up against Nacho, is exactly where Barcelona will look to hurt Real Madrid. And you know what? If Alba is fit, then Ancelotti may even rejig the team a bit. He may take out Rodrigo and put Valverde there on the right-hand side, just to double up there really with Nacho. And that really worked actually in a previous Clásico for Real Madrid in terms of numbing the pace of Jordi Alba. So I definitely think for Barcelona, even I suppose without Alba there, say Dest is playing at left-back, if we've got Dest and Ansu Fati running at Nacho there, that's what we want to be trying to take advantage of Real Madrid, in my opinion. I think, of course, the midfield battle is always key. We did briefly touch on it, but I think Real Madrid will be coming to this game and saying, we want to dominate here. We don't necessarily want to have all the possession, but I think they definitely want to feel on top. And you don't always have to have, 70, 80% possession to be on top. They'll just want, about 60% possession, but they'll want to feel dominant. They'll want to feel like they can cut through our team. And I think with those midfielders, they'll feel they've got that in their locker, which is why Busquets, De Jong, Gavi have got to be so up for this one. They really have. Because in these Clásicos, if we are able to get control of the ball like we have done in previous El Clásicos and just dominate, dictate the midfield, then we're going to be in luck. But that's all down to Koeman, conjuring up a plan and getting these guys on the ball, getting Busquets, De Jong and Gavi in the correct positions and the correct zones on the pitch. And that's going to be hard for Koeman to do. I think if you look at Real Madrid, we spoke about how we can hurt them, but I think they will certainly be thinking, we can hurt you. I think immediately you look at Vinicius and Benzema there against the Barcelona defence. If we're thinking maybe even Alba won't be fit, you've got Mingueza, Eric Garcia, maybe even Sergio Roberto back there, Piqué, Serginho Dest. It's not a defence that tells you, they're going to keep you out. There's no way you're getting through that. It's just not that. So certainly Benzema, Vinicius, they'll be thinking, give us the ball. We'll hurt this team. And even if Rodrigo's playing there on the other side, they've got pace there either side of Benzema. They can get in behind us there. And if Benzema gets a sniff, he will score. He's on top hot form right now, so Barcelona cannot give him much room. I think Piqué has got to be super tight on Benzema there. Also Busquets there coming in from midfield has really got to be watchful of the number 9. And certainly Vinicius, whoever he's up against, has got a big task on their hand, because in previous Clásicos, despite not ever really scoring, Vinicius always causes us problems. He really has terrorised a few of our defenders in the past. So I think the one I'd go for really is either Dest. That's an ideal option, but if Dest has to start an attack, I think I would go for Mingueza. Look, it's not going to be easy, but I think Mingueza is a tough defender. He has got a bit of pace about him. He's a good tackler, so I think I would go for Mingueza there rather than Sergio Roberto up against Vinicius. And maybe to end on a more positive note for Barcelona, this is something I also touched on, but I do think that the Real Madrid defence, whilst it is quick, I also feel as if it's a little bit vulnerable. I don't actually look at their defenders and think, brick walls as well. We can say the same for ours for sure, but Militao and Alaba, for me, they're really great defenders in the way that they're extremely quick. They're quite strong and physical too. They're good at bringing the ball out the back, but I actually think that they're the sort of defenders who could step out into midfield, who they can leave gaps, they can make rash decisions, and if Barcelona plays smartly around them, I think we actually can exploit Real Madrid's defence. I really do feel that. I don't think they're rock solid at the back. So if we do apply pressures to them, if we get Ansu and Memphis on the ball, even Dest, if he's in the right wing role, then I'm hoping we can actually cause Real Madrid some big issues. So that is where I will begin to wrap up this video. I really enjoyed making it. I always do like going over, some of the tactical insights ahead of El Clásico. What are you guys expecting? What are you expecting Ancelotti and Koeman to come up with? I'm not expecting anything too major really on the tactical side of things, but I just think it's the little balances really of play that are going to be key. The battles all over the pitch, who gets on the ball the most. If Barcelona can get Ansu in the game, if Real Madrid are able to exploit our defence with Vinicius and Benzema, who dominates the midfield, which defence stands up, how are the goalkeepers too, that's also key in the Clásico. Courtois and ter Stegen, are they going to make any big saves? All of these things, they always play a part in El Clásico. So I think coming into the game, Barcelona come off probably a little worse off really than Real Madrid. Real Madrid had a good result midweek, as we'll discuss in the match preview tomorrow. But I think also Real Madrid's team, it looks strong. They haven't really got many players missing, as we've mentioned, players like Hazard to come off the bench. Carvajal if he's fit too. And certainly for Barcelona missing, Jordi Alba if he's not available. Also the likes of Araujo, Dembele, Pedri. These are big players who certainly would have started this game. So Barcelona are missing players, but let's see what we can conjure up, guys. The match preview and the full, analysis of everything will be coming up tomorrow, so I hope you guys look out for that one too. But in today's video, I hope you enjoyed the tactical preview. I know I did. Leave any of your thoughts and comments down below, and goodbye.